Hello everybody. So I'm doing this video mainly because people were always asking me about how I get so much power in my base and all of that, and lots of other people asking similar questions in IRC about it. So what I'm going to show you today is the minefactory reloaded harvester, which is this block I'm holding here. Now I've got a little bit of basic infrastructure up. I've got a basic ME controller, a network, and I have some deep storage units. Deep storage units are essential for this, to be honest, because you're going to get so many mats out of this, you're not even going to be able to use them all, unless you're crazy. So a quick word about saplings. The harvester can harvest anything you put in front of it that's a tree. And there are two different types of tree that are very beneficial for this. You've got the standard jungle tree, which has a chance, when densely packed with saplings, to grow into a giant tree, and they pretty much always do with the harvester layout, and that will give you the most wood out of all the ones I've tried, and you'll get a shed load of wood for that, and that is very good if you want to turn all your harvestings into charcoal. It also gives you an ample amount of saplings to do what you will with. Now this is Sakura. I'm not quite sure which mod adds this, but it's annoyingly pink, but it gives a shed load of saplings, more than any other tree I've yet come across. So if you want to go down the biofuel route, that's the way. If you want to go down the charcoal route, that's the way, in my opinion. So this is all done thanks to the minefactory reloaded harvester, of which I will just place here, and it doesn't do very much. It has a nice little 3x3 grid in front of it that it works from, and you can power it with just about any type of power. So I will stick down a solar panel on its head just to make sure it has some power for later on. Now, a 3x3, absolutely rubbish, but these things come with upgrades, and those are these ones, radius upgrades. Now the one I always recommend to everybody is this one, quartz. It's cheaper to find, well, you can find shed loads of gold easily, but it's cheaper than diamonds and platinum and emeralds, and it covers a vast area. Now you may think 8 upgrade, that's not very much, but that's a radius upgrade, which means you've got the standard 1, 2, 3, and then it goes an extra 8 in this direction and extra 8 in that direction. To demonstrate, I will just lay out quickly how big that area is. So there we go. That is with the 8 radius upgrade, which is quite a large area. And that is what it would have been standard. Ignore the pink bricks, they're the first ones to hand, I swear. Right, so obviously this would do like one tree at a time. Now the thing is that you've got to understand is if I've got that running there, it will use up the same amount of power chopping everything down, doing all the usual stuff as it would here. But with this here, you obviously get a lot more out of it. Now what you need to go underneath this is a planter, and that will also need the 8 upgrade. So if we just grab another one of those, should have had one of these to hand really, shouldn't I? There we go, and put that in there, and run some power conduits, and I will fill that with saplings in a sec. Now, one thing I recommend here is, unless you want very long pipes going everywhere, you want to add tesseracts to this. So that planter has an item tesseract there that will input to it. Now you've got the nearby network doing networky things over here. So if you put that on the same network, send only, and you use an export bus. Let's go for a precision export bus, and you say export to that only, which one are we going for, jungle tree saplings, then it will do that, and it will fill up the planter, which currently has power. So if I just demonstrate this, in fact, let's say that this is those saplings, good, and I'll dump a load in there, and it will send them all straight there, which is now planting them. We're going to need quite a few more than that. So let's go. It's a pity you can't give items, machines, an infinite number of these things, you know. You say stick a block in there and that's unlimited, and then it would, whoops, oh well, then it would use that one. How's it going? Now to start off with, these things do not actually use that much power. What I tend to do in the beginning is power them by a couple of basic engines, megajoules, Minecraft joules I mean. See, look, we got growing already. There's a lot of people saying you need fertilizers and stuff like that for these machines, but you see the speed they're growing. With an area this size, there's always something growing, and the harvester usually can't keep up once you've got a decent amount of growth with the amount that's coming in. So the next thing you want to do is do, well, another tesseract out from this, to be honest. Although I tend to go for ender chests because on our network we usually have a couple of ender chests that are linked to ender pouches, so we can always drop items in wherever we are at any point when we're mining, for example. So that will output to there, and that will import to there. Precision import bus, there we go. And that will import everything from the ender chest straight away. Like I say, we use an ender pouch when mining, and that way everything we mine goes straight to the network. Look at this, we've already got significant growth here. It must be noted that when you start off, usually, you will obviously only have like 2 or 3 saplings, but when they grow and when they get cut down, the saplings exponentially multiply. So, what you've got to do now is, because this isn't working, you have to switch it to jungle wood. You won't have to do that for any other wood type, I don't believe. And you can say shear leaves, and that will, oh wait, no, that usually it will cut the leaves and you'll get saplings and apples if you've got apple trees and stuff like that. If you say shear the leaves, you get them back as whole blocks, which you don't really want to do. There's no point to them, you're rather after saplings. So let's enable jungle wood and stand back and marvel. Now it does have a little bit of a cooldown, but as you can see it's doing all of those now. Those are the only major problem I have with this at the moment. You get shed loads of vines, but that is the joy of deep storage. They will all go, whoops, they will all go in there. Why not set that up right? Yeah, there they go, they're going. So I need to manually move them across quickly and put them all back in there. There we go. Now, that will be working along nicely, and like I say, it does not keep up with this. There's no way to increase the speed as far as I'm aware, so what I tend to do is have 2 harvesters per area for the same amount of 1, 2, 3, 4. There. So we'll have the ender chest there and another solar panel on it. Just for, I mean, obviously usually you'd use whatever you'd use, energy cables, stuff like that, tesseracts, whatever you prefer to get your power over here, but it'll be pretty much self-sustaining after a very short while. There we go, we've got all the wood coming in now. I need to move that over to here. That's better. I think it was already over there. Okay, now, those are your main outputs. This thing runs off of a very little amount of power compared to how much it will give you. And that will be spamming out these. So the next thing you want to do is get yourself an induction furnace. Now, you usually end up needing a few of these depending on how many tree farms you get going, but I have to say one tree farm will happily supply around about 20 boilers just with charcoal, which I will be demonstrating in a bit. Let's go for a smaller solar panel so I don't blow this one up. In fact, let's go for an MFE. Right, so set up a basic bit of power. I know it doesn't need anywhere near that amount, but still. It has to be noted that when you're using tesseracts to input and such like, let me just set up a couple actually to demonstrate. Now, tesseracts, if we put one there and we say that this one is wood, add that, use that, so it's receive only. Tesseract uses the old enabled and disabled ignored, such and such, so if you put the lever directly on that, it affects the blocks around it and would also switch that off, so you need to put the redstone signal at least a block back. So we've got this thing warming up now, and we've got the tesseract. The reason I'm using tesseracts is so that you can put them pretty much anywhere. So that does the saplings. Let's get another one of these. There we go. And in here we will say that any wood you get should go straight to the tesseract, which should send it straight to here. Receive only wood. Now what am I doing wrong? I didn't enable it properly. Send only wood. There we go. Now obviously once this thing's heated up it does it a lot better. And then we'll do the usual we'll do the usual output to ender chest. Should be worth noting this whole setup. I haven't thought that one through, have I? Okay, so let's actually output this to the main network. That's the import bus I need. So it should be worth noting this whole setup is doable quite easily on a low startup power network. So you can do this pretty early on into the game. Now charcoal I'm going to put in the end one. And you will accrue a lot of charcoal. And you will actually need a backlog of charcoal. Because if you try starting up a boiler, I'm talking the large maximum size boilers, 36 HP, and you try doing that with anything less than, I think it's something like 300,000 charcoal, then it will drain it faster than you can bring it in. And you may think, oh, why is that such a good power network then? Because once the boiler is maxed out on temperature, and it's used up those 300,000 charcoal, then it will use like nothing to keep it going. It will use one charcoal every, I'm not sure what the exact numbers are, but it'll be every minute or so. And this will easily keep that powered. So while you do need to bring up a bit of a backlog to start one up, once it's going, you'll have enough to do another one. That's why you can get 20 boilers running of this. You start 20 boilers all at once, you're going to run out of everything and never be able to catch up again. Now you may think, that's great, now why do I have to sit here waiting for that? Isn't there another way I can use it? Let's just get a monitor. Actually, that's the wrong kind of monitor, isn't it? Storage monitor. Let's just keep an eye on the charcoal here. I'm not saying we're going to get to 300k in this video, but just so you know. So yeah, that's a lot of good, but now you're using up a lot of power and wasting it, and you're not actually getting anything in return. But you can obviously get a basic generator. In fact, when I first set up one of these networks, I think it took 4 or 5 or 6 generators to get back the power I was using, so it's still not a lot. And you can make a messy setup with that. Let me just set one up now. Right, so I've only set up 4 running at the moment, but just a quick demonstration of the network you can do with it. This is easily keeping that running. Obviously if you have an MFR or something in between. I did mean to set one up, but for some reason the way I was doing it was crashing the game. So yeah, these are export buses with charcoal into the bottom of generators, and they are lasting quite a while, as you can see in there. So these will fill up nice and neatly and only use what's needed. So that is a way to use your charcoal early on. It's nowhere near as efficient as the other methods, but that's what you got. In fact, there is a way, that'll be the first step in my opinion, to get this network running. This power network, this will run everything you're ever going to need, all the way up until a fusion reactor, but it takes baby steps once you've got it running to get everywhere. So the next step would be a boiler. So you'd use the usual aqueous accumulator for that, and I'm going to start off with just a small boiler, because you do a bigger boiler and it's going to have trouble straight away. Actually I need that there, so I can place that there. Oh, it doesn't give me water back. Okay, so we've got the usual aqua accumulator, and that's happily full of water, and then you'll need the solid fueled boiler. Now I'm only going to make a little 2x whatever. How do you do this? Let's just type in boiler, shall we? High pressure, that's the one. And you can start this off with a single boiler as well, and this is just a basic 2 high. You can make this 3 high, and you can do the usual item tesseracts on there. Now what I do on my usual boiler setups is, I have, let's just place that in there, and that'll be charcoal. I have tesseracts for everything. I have tesseracts for water underneath them, all coming from big storage, big accumulator tanks. And I have tesseracts coming from solid fuel like this. And that means that you can pretty much place a boiler anywhere, because you can have a tesseract taking the steam out of it, using enough of the old, what do you call it? Send only, yeah, liquid tesseracts and liquid ducts and everything. There we go, and that's heating that up nicely. So yeah, you can have liquid tesseracts taken out of a boiler, and you can send that anywhere. Let me demonstrate that now, because that is the next stage of it. Oh, I missed that. Okay. In fact, let's grab some liquid ducts as well, because there's a maximum amount of liquid that you can actually get into these boilers, get into these tesseracts, and it doesn't even start outputting until these things are half full, so that's going to take quite a while. It's a shame there isn't a creative way. As you can see, it guzzles the charcoal very fast. This might be able to outrun our input actually. It's going up, it's going up. It might be okay, because this thing's now running at full heat. 290, 295, so that's all good. Now, thing to note, it doesn't clear the bottom layer until it's cleared all the upper layers. I'm not sure why that is, but it means you may get left with them sat at the bottom sometimes. In fact, let's put up a monitor for the other items as well, just so we can have a good look. So yeah, saplings are coming in more than we're using at the moment, as expected. In fact, everything is. You've got way more wood than you're ever going to use. In fact, the best bet here is probably to add another induction furnace. Oh, nighttime cometh. Everything's solar powered on this map at the moment, just for kicks, but you know. So yeah, you add another induction furnace, you'll still be getting in way more wood than you're using, and you'll be getting in way more charcoal than you're using. Now, this thing's going to take, like I said, a while to heat up, but, give me back to that interface, but you can put a liquid tesseract on the side, and that you can put to steam, and that is basically my entire power infrastructure on my, on the rest of my worlds. Every world I've made so far is just steam, because that will only output when it gets to past half steam, although it'll start outputting on that. Yeah, because what you do then is all you need is anywhere you want power, you stick down a liquid tesseract saying receive steam, and you get an energy converter, a steam consumer. Not used to this texture pack yet. Let's do this the easy way. Consumer. Here we go. So you will need the steam one. Here we go. Steam consumer. Put down there, and you'll need an energy bridge. In fact, while I'm here, energy bridge. Okay, and that will take in the steam and convert it to IC2 and Buildcraft, except not this way, because those are consumers, which you need to change to producers. There we go. So you produce Buildcraft power, you can produce IC2 power. This should be getting us in some steam now. There we go. And we're getting steam in, and these have no links, so they're not going anywhere. But if I cable this up, that's the IC2 one, and break this off, and break this off. Okay, so no more wasted charcoal on that. Still wasted charcoal on this. But that's outputting way more than we need. It's inputting plenty as well. We're using up as much steam as we're getting. Once this maxes out, you'll be getting more steam, obviously. So that's good. And this thing is still getting ample power. Now, let's see if this is enough to run these. Let me just grab a load of energy conduits and I'll see you in a sec. Right, so that's all placed then. I have to say I use energy conduits for stuff like this because it has pretty much unlimited, unlimited capacity, whereas if I'm using a medium voltage producer, whoops, let's wrench that the right way. If I'm using an IC2 producer, it has a limit to how much it outputs. There we go, it's outputting 24 megajoules. That's it. Your entire farm just uses up 24 megajoules, Minecraft joules. And that's outputting enough IC2 energy to keep that running. Which means one last thing, this. Let's do some really crappy wiring. Really messy. Wrong block. And this is a step you want to be at. Ooh. This whole network is now just about self-sufficient. This can be laid a lot better because I'm running cables all over the place and that uses up a lot more on the ME network. I also am not using that, I only put it there as a precaution, so let's get rid of that. See if we can strip it down a bit more. Come on, oh, still going down a bit. Well, maybe we'll need one generator, but also I can obviously add an extra layer to this steam boiler, although if I do that now it will be fatal because my entire power network will crash. But as you can see, it's really not far off. Okay, let's add one generator to the mix and that should be able to tip the balance, I reckon. Although we've still got a bunch full, so it wouldn't be a fair test. Okay, one generator. See how we're doing. Damn. But yeah, you get the point. We are now self-sufficient. So what we need to do is possibly add another one block boiler just to keep things ticking over, which is not worth doing at the moment because this thing's going to produce more steam when it maxes out, and the network's doing absolutely fine as is. I really could reduce all this cabling down quite a bit though with a bit of work. In fact, if I take it off there, would that reduce it some more? Anyway, you get the point. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to wait until I've accumulated quite a bit more charcoal and this boiler's at maximum temperature, and I will be back and show you bigger boilers. Well, I'm sorry to say, but my game appears to crash whenever I try and go back on the multiplayer server. So instead I'm just going to have to attach a screenshot of the world as it was. Sorry about that. Catch you guys later.